Stephen A. Smith, Kendrick Perkins, man. It's good to turn on ESPN and seeing boisterous brothers have solid takes and care about something other than sports and sport and play. You know what I'm saying? Grand Sheik always say, man, the only time you see brothers talking passionately, open and out in front is if they talking about sports, which is a lot of time a bunch of nothing. Talking about some stats and who won rings and stuff. That stuff means something, but in the grand scheme of things, it's sport and play. It seemed like black media America got the memo. Okay. You can defend the brother now. But nobody's gonna, you know what nobody in black media is gonna mention? They're gonna say, well, LeBron James sent a tweet. Nobody's gonna mention that Farrakhan just dropped a 50-minute Godfather speech. And he told the brothers in the middle, man, we need you guys. And then all of a sudden, black media, they did something. See, Farrakhan's Godfather, he got to work behind the scenes.
I do agree. And, you know, the suspension is one thing. And everybody asked for Kyrie Irving to give an apology, and he did just that. And so here's the thing. I appreciate LeBron James speaking out on his platform and using his voice. But that's just a step. When you think about LeBron James, he's one of the most powerful, iconic individuals in the world. Not just in the sports world, in the world.
Yeah.
So if he really want to go forward with this and he really want to take action, that was just the first step. Now, make those phone calls. Use your sources. Use your power to actually get it done so that Kyrie Irving don't have to go through that whole entire list that they put out that he has to do before he's able to return to the game. And LeBron James, we keep talking about this. One of the guys in the league that everyone looks up to. One of the guys that he could make a phone call at the drop of a dime and get a conference call with all the most powerful individuals in the game today. Whether that's Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the list goes on. And then come together collectively to get Kyrie Irving back on the floor. But I do agree with LeBron James. What Kyrie Irving is asked to do after he already apologized is absurd, and it's disrespectful to this point. But this is just a starting point for LeBron James using this platform. Now, get it done.
Well, what I didn't like is Kendrick Perkins saying, LeBron James, I like what you did, but you need to do more. You see, that's typical nigga shit. Typical, I put it on the next man to do what I need to be doing or what I could do. Oh, well, it's because Martin Luther King didn't do this. It's because Malcolm X didn't do that. It's because the black preachers didn't do this. Well, what can you do? You got a platform, Kendrick Perkins. He talking about LeBron needs to do more. Kendrick Perkins, you have a platform LeBron don't have. We see your face and your voice every day on one of the biggest networks in America or the world. You got a platform. So I love when Stephen A. Smith got on and said, hey, bro, this is something that you could do. I could do. Brothers on other networks. When he said that, I'm thinking of Barkley. I'm thinking of Shannon Sharp. So I love that. You know what I'm saying? Stephen A. Smith basically said all of us have a play at this.
I got news for you, Kendrick Perkins. That's not just on LeBron James. That's on all of us. That's on you. That's on me. That's on brothers or that's working on other networks. The list goes on and on. Collectively, we have to come together. Kyrie was wrong. Kyrie should not have done what he did. Putting that link on his Twitter page was insensitive, highly insensitive and offensive. The Jewish community spoke up about that. We understand that part of the story. But he apologized, albeit reluctantly. He did that. The Anti-Defamation League, somebody needs to talk to them. Nobody else has done it, so I'm going to do it. Directly to the Anti-Defamation League. Most folks in our society recognize that Kyrie was wrong and Kyrie made a mistake. Attaching yourself to a link with anti-Semitic tropes and in any way speaking of Adolf Hitler in a positive manner is as inexcusable as it gets. He apologized for it. The commissioner of the National Football League has come out and said that Kyrie Irving is someone he has known personally for a decade, and that he can vouch for the fact that Kyrie Irving is not anti-Semitic. That should be enough. This list that's been put out there and all of this other stuff, because when you put those as conditions to him being allowed back into the league, you are emasculating this man. And when you emasculate a black man, I'm going to say something about that. It is uncalled for, it is unnecessary. Black folks, we don't get enough credit for this. We forgive people all the time. How many things have been accorded against us? How many things have been spoken about us inaccurately? How many times throughout history have we been demonized and marginalized and insulted? We've shown forgiveness. We've shown compassion. And you're talking to somebody, let's just call it what it is, who get along with Kyrie or his daddy. They both know why. But I will tell you this, I don't give a damn whether I don't get along with them or not. I don't give a damn whether or not we ever speak to each other again in life or not. I will defend him on this in terms of requiring compassion and the avoidance of being emasculated and minimized. We got riots that took place in the streets a couple of years ago. And I told everybody back then, I said when George Floyd had that knee on his neck, what people didn't get outside of the black community is that black folks were going off because we were saying from a figurative perspective, from a metaphorical perspective, we always feel like we got a knee on our neck. And that's where the frustration and the foment of vitriol and hostility and, dare I say, violence came shining through. And so here we are again. Now, this doesn't have anything to do with that in a literal perspective. But this is somebody or a bunch of people out there trying to put their knee and keep their knee on Kyrie's neck. Kyrie does not deserve that. He made a mistake. He made a mistake. He had to apologize for it. He's been embarrassed because of it. He's cost himself money because of it. He's been suspended because of it. But if Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, who is a Jewish man, comes out publicly and acknowledges he made a mistake, he was wrong, and he thinks that the suspension and the conversations have gone a long way towards pushing this forward, the Jewish community should be able to accept that. Because no one's flawless. Everyone makes mistakes. But as human beings and as children of God, no matter who your God is, my question would be, where's the compassion? He made a mistake. Let the man come back and play and stop trying to put these conditions on him. Not to say that the Anti-Defamation League or the Jewish community is doing that right now. It appears to be the Nets. I'm saying all of that needs to stop. Kyrie Irving was suspended for 5 games. That 5-game suspension ends this week. He's scheduled to come back against the Los Angeles Lakers if it's just 5 games. It should be just 5 games. It shouldn't be indefinite. Let the man come back and play basketball. And stop holding this over his head like this. You can hold it over his head in terms of what you think or what you may think about him, but in a literal sense to prevent him from earning an honest living because of a clear mistake, it implies that you're not willing to forgive us. And my last point, Perk, is this. America, don't think I have not noticed what you have done. Kyrie Irving, minimum 5 games. Ime Udoka, minimum 1-year suspension. Usually when there's a suspension, there's an end date. I'm seeing 2 black men here that's got the word indefinite attached to their exiles. I don't like that. That is inconsistent with what we have customarily seen transpire in the world of sports. So when 2 brothers mess up, it's got indefinite attached to it. But if it's anybody else, you get a definitive point which is suspended and or you're fired and you're free to go work elsewhere, whatever the case may be. But in these cases, you got indefinite attached to them where their futures are left dangling. What are y'all trying to say? I I thought we were listening. I thought black people were gonna be heard. I thought our frustrations that come reeking through the screen and beyond was finally being absorbed and listened to with the level of sensitivity various communities throughout the United States just a couple of years ago said we spent decades, if not centuries, not paying enough attention to. But suddenly this stuff happens and here we are again. Let Kyrie Irving back. Let that man play. He comes back. He issues his apology. He goes back to playing basketball because that's what you would do for anybody else. As black people, we need to stand up and demand you do that for Kyrie too. We ain't supporting what he did. We're not saying he didn't make a gross error, but forgiveness and compassion is supposed to be a part of who we are. Let's not forget that when it comes to this brother.
Another thing too is the first person I seen in the media to kind of like go with this narrative, because remember the narrative was bash Kyrie. And then I kept looking at Jay Williams. He was very uncomfortable, didn't really want to bash the brother. And then when he came out with his IG post, I did a video on it if you want to see the commentary on it. Jay Williams was one of the first people coming out here like, whoa, 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 this is a bit much. You're emasculating the brother and it feels like buck breaking. Because that's what it does. It feels like America has a innate ability to punish the brothers much harder than everybody else. You know, Stephen A. Smith said, America, I see what you guys are doing. America, you have Emike Udoka indefinitely suspended. You have Kyrie Irving indefinitely suspended. Yo, you got to put the blame in the right place. That's not America's doing. That is the NBA's doing. So when you say America, you mean the NBA. Okay? Stephen A. Smith said, man, we forgive a lot. We forgive. I'm thinking maybe we should learn from the Jews and start being hard on these people, saying, man, you know what? Forgiveness ain't enough. You got to sit down with Minister Louis Farrakhan. You got to sit down with T.D. Jakes. You know what I'm saying? You got to go on Steve Harvey's show. You got to go on Nick Cannon's show. Maybe we should say stuff like that. You feel what I'm saying? Charlemagne, you got to sit down with Charlemagne the God. Maybe we got to be on that. You got to give money to the whatever committees and stuff that we got, man. I did kind of think that Stephen A. Smith, he kind of went with the black, I'm the mad black man kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? And he tried to get sympathy points with the George Floyd argument, you know what I'm saying? I thought that was like a political play, you know what I'm saying? You know, whatever that's worth. You know, it's just that's my takes, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Stephen A. Smith for speaking his mind and giving us a better perspective, because the way they was getting on Kyrie, and let's be honest, why did they get on Kyrie? The real reason they got on Kyrie is because they felt like he didn't do enough. They wanted more from him. They're used to training us, and you know, and then on top of that, they want to throw him in training. Training? What? The last thing I thought is you train dogs, man. So even if you like this conversation, make sure you like, subscribe, and fuck with me, man. Ali Salaam, CIRC7E Media. All right, y'all. Peace.
Well said. Well said.